Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Right, I'm going to be doing this reading just a bit different because I keep on dreaming about doing this reading this way. So let's see. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now, if you are part of this family, you will know that this is the way I did the money and career readings. So we're just following the theme. Think of this as a tree. These are the branches. This is the bark and the roots. So let's see what the tarot has to say. We start off with strength and the lovers. This is rooting us at this time. I'm also seeing this very much as, your inner self, your emotional self, your public arena self. And this is what's going to be linking you, like all the emotions that are going to be linking you together during this time. So we have here the Seven of Swords and the Tower. So for your inner self, there's a huge change that is going on here. And we're going to look more deeply into this. And there's a sense of needing things. There's a sense of needing to change yourself. And there's also a sense of things not being as clear-cut as you would like it to be. It leads us to your heart, where we have the Hangman. You don't see things the same way as everybody else. And the Six of Wands. This is starting to be able to celebrate yourself in a very real and very positive way. In the public arena, we have the World opening. And we have the Knight of Cups. This is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Of course, at our roots is Leo energy with the Strength card. That is a time frame of July 23rd to July 23rd to August 22nd. And then with Gemini, which is the lovers, it's May 21st to June 20th. So this encapsulates part of this time frame, the sense of lovers, the sense of there's going to be two paths to be chosen. There's going to be two ways of looking at everything. And there's going to be a strength in picking the path that is right for you, in picking the way forward that accentuates and enhances your own abilities and doesn't have you fall into the muck and the mire of everybody else. So that's going to be really rather important here. So let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Aries. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, my goodness. Communication just flew right out. Definitely wants to be seen. This is the throat chakra. The way that we talk is going to be important. The way that we express ourselves. We can find ourselves being very communicative during this time. We need to talk, we need to express, we need to have this sharing of ideas. Now, if we're more extroverted people, we might want to be talking to others and engaging with others. If we're more introverted people, we might be really drawn to looking at different ideas, different ways of seeing a situation, different ways of seeing something. We might find that we're looking at something, we're gathering up all the information that we agree upon, but we're also gathering up all the information that we don't agree upon. And we're sifting through and we're seeing, this is change, where I stand, this is change what I want. How am I moving forward? This is a time of exploration through communication, through the opening of ideas and the emboldening of the self. So this is going to be really quite big for us, especially with the throat chakra expressing itself the way that we need to. And what's so interesting is that, yes, we're talking about the throat chakra, but we're talking mind to mind here. So there can be a need, it's going to sound funny, but there can be a need for like letter writing. So you're listening to another person's thoughts. They're going to have to spell things out and work with them and mold them a bit more during this time, or journal writing. It's not going to be that instantaneous. We are going to want that instantaneous, but we're going to want that more face-to-face type of thing. We're going to want that more in the people that we're talking with and we're building our lives off of during this time, or that are in our sphere of existence. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of? May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of? May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. So we have the Prince of Cups and we have the King of Swords. Now we have the Prince of Cups, which in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the Knight of Cups right here. Now the Prince of Cups equates to water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, but it's also emotions. And then we have the King of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is also thought. So here we have to be mindful of people who are rather immature with their emotional coming togethers. And they're rather immature with what they are fighting for. It's not even immature. It's like they're so caught up in the fight that they're losing sight of everybody else and everything else. So this is going to be the energy that we have to be mindful of. It's going to play really well with us. We're going to find ourselves really attracted to the Knight of Cups energy because it comes through right here. And we're going to be attracted to the person who's really passionate, who's really determined, who looks at things in a very certain, very succinct way. And we're going to say, oh wow, that really speaks to me. That's the way that I do it. Oh, that's exactly what I think. But they're going to kind of go off and they're going to be looking at their own selves, what they need, what they want, what they desire, what they're building off of. And it's going to be that they put the emotions first instead of the logic. And it can be that you're dealing with the same person here. If you are, this is something to be very mindful of, because you're going to have somebody who charges forward being highly reactionary, and then you're going to have a person, the same person, being very much, well, you have to show me the facts, I want this all written out, very, very nitpicky. All right, so it's going to be a very hard person to know where you stand with. So that's going to be something to be mindful of. The King of Swords also might not have the best people skills at times. They can be a little bit cold, a little bit aloof, have a tendency to be very much cerebral about the whole entire thing and say, well, I was just saying what I think, or these are the facts and that person's facts were wrong. It's like, okay, but there's a nicer way to do it, and there's being a jerk about it. And so here we're going to have to look at this and look at this energy and be very aware that there's an energy that's going to catch us up emotionally. And there's an energy that's going to be very logical and very much wanting us to move down that logic path. And both of these are going to want us to be swept away. And too much of anything is not good. So we're going to need to find the balance of the heart and the balance of the mind during this time. And also to be able during this time, and it might sound funny because Aries, you can be disagreeable when you want to be. Absolutely, you're the god of war. Aries is the god of war in Greek mythology. So when it's saying here, be a bit disagreeable, it doesn't mean, charge in for battle all the time, but it means to stand your ground and know what it is that you desire, and look at things, being open and honest with yourself and saying, yeah, well, this might not win me brownie points, but it has to be said. And there's a power to you. And this person right here, the King of Swords, this person will respect that. They may not always like it, and it might go against them. So they would see it as an attack. But this is a person who, in the end, would be like, okay, you said it. I didn't like that you said it. But it is something that I can see. It's something that I can gain an understanding from. Now, with the Strength card at our base, our strength during this time is going to be through the building with others. It's not going to be, I'm an island, I can stand all by myself. When we have the Strength card, the lion can easily take down the woman. And it always makes me think of Saint Thecla in Orthodoxy and in Gnostic texts. There's the book, or Thecla and Paul. And what's so interesting about it is that this is a person who stood her ground, knew what it is that she wanted, and the lionesses, and stood before her when she was to be fed to the lions, and guarded her from the lions. So this is something where you're going to see here the most unlikely allies coming to our side. You're going to see that there's a different way of looking at things, that there's a sense of prosperity and bounty and eternity around you, around the way that you're walking forward, around what it is that you desire. And as you're encapsulating and embracing the unique strength of you as an individual, this is a time where we start to see that we get to shine just a bit more. So everybody has their own personal strengths. Everybody has their own personal brilliance forward. And when we're looking at ourselves and saying, well, that's not my strength, but this is. And when we're also being honest with ourselves, and when people are saying, okay, I know you really want to try that, but right now, this is your strength. This is where I need you. Look at it this way. Not to get insulted, but to kind of tame the lion, because there's going to be situations during this time where we're taming the chaos, where we're taming what other people cannot, because we have this very different way of seeing things. And because we have a different way of seeing things, it's letting us embrace the strength of compassion, the strength of kindness, the strength of understanding, the strength of listening, which isn't what we do right now. We say, this is what is, and it seems like everybody's so busy yelling at each other that the world is biting the hand that feeds them. And so now it's to say, no, there's calm here, there's peace here, there's beauty here. Please let it shine. Please let it move forward. And it's being that beacon of that eternal light, of that eternal understanding. And it's really embracing this strength of character. And what's so interesting is that you're rooted in the Strength card, in the Lover. So you're rooted in Major Arcana. And in each part, we have a Major Arcana card coming forward. So we have something pivotal coming forward during this time. And as we have the Lovers here, the Lovers are compassion and understanding. It's love, it's joy, it's falling in love with love again, and with life again. But it's also a blessing. It's also saying this and that is true. It's a Taoist statement that this and that is true. And as we look at it, it's like, okay, well, there isn't just one road. There isn't just one way to do something. And love lets us see that. Love lets us connect with other people, to connect with people who are different than us, connect with people who have different understandings than us, and start to open up our world, start to open up our hearts, start to open up ourselves, start to see the passion and the desire that guides us, start to see what's intrinsically important and what we thought was important but realize we don't want. This is also a time where we're going to see strength in love. So often, even though we hear it and people say it, oh, love is so strong, love conquers all. To put that whole entire weight on love, on just purely love, it's too much. It's too much, it breeds resentment. What we're going to see here is the strength in love through looking at a person as a fully formed human beings, wart and all, and saying, okay, I see you. I see the God's head within you. I respect you. I may not like you, I may not love you at this time, but there's respect there for that spark of humanity. And that's going to be what we're building off of. We're going to be looking at things in a very open way, in a very honest way, in a very empowered way during this time, building off of love. And that love does not mean that we stop being competitive. That love does not mean that we, have to have things our way. That love, or that we sacrifice everything for everybody else. That love means a truthful seeing. that love means a coming together, that love means an embodying and emboldening of the voice of the self and of the voice of what's desired. And it leads us in our inner selves. We're going to be a little bit sneaky, like we didn't see everything right before, or we didn't build everything up the right way. And now we're looking at things and saying, I have to change this. I have to change it. It needs to be changed. I'm moving it towards change. That's it. We're also looking at people who were just sneaky within our lives to us. They lied to us. They took things from us. They, snuck away like thieves in the night. And we're looking at that mindset, that hurt, that pain, that disappointment, and we're seeing it for what it's worth. And we're saying, okay, I see you. And I see the damage that you've done to me. You don't get to control me, and you don't get to rule me anymore. This is also us taking what is needed and leaving the rest behind. The swords are an important thing because the swords are the only weapon within the tarot. And we might say, well, why do we need weapons? Well, the swords also represent the mind. So we need weapons to fuel the mind, to guard the mind, and to move us forward. When we're looking at things during this time, there needs to be a sharpness to us. There needs to be this insight. There needs to be this sense of, no, I'm doing this for me now. It's not for everybody else. I'm not falling on my sword anymore. I'm doing what needs to be done. And there's an empowerment to it. Now, this isn't saying be rude, be mean, just be selfish. This is saying that there needs to be a sense of, this is what I need in order to move forward. This is what will fuel me in order for me to be empowered. And it's because we've been through this time that just completely rocked our world. Now we can all say, yes, we've been through a year and now another year that have completely changed us, have completely changed what we view as important, completely changed what we see, what we desire, what we want, and what we need. The Tower can be a 16-year period where there has just been pain and struggle and hardship. And you think, I'm going to come out of it. I'm going to come out of it. And we never do. So here, there's a real sense of, oh my goodness, when is it going to be my time? And what the Tower also shows us is that divinity is pushing us out of comfort zones. Divinity is pushing us to a place that we need to be, to a realization that we need to see, to something more. And as we're embracing this something more, we're embracing ourselves more openly and more honestly. We're having our minds opened, and that's why we're taking what is deeply needed. Because if you see here, he's looking back, and he's looking back at everything that was destroyed. And it's like, this is what I can salvage. And he might be a little smug. We might be a little bit smug during this time. It's like, this is what I can salvage. This is what I have. This is what I've built through blood, sweat, and tears. Because I've lost so much. And if you've been unfortunate, or one could argue fortunate enough to have lost it all, and believe me, as somebody who has lost it all, hearing somebody say, oh, you were fortunate to lose it all, is aggravating, to say the least. The Spirit is saying it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's not right. But it is, because it gives us a different insight. It gives us a different insight into the world. It gives us a different insight into ourselves, what we desire, what we want, what we need. And there's a sense of just even this veil of almost being like a drone. Like, everybody moves this certain way. Everybody does this certain thing. And saying, oh yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, no more. It's like, no, I need this. This is what's right for me. This is how I move forward. This is what I desire. And again, it's not selfish. It's just like, oh, I don't have to fit in like everybody else. I don't have to, think if I'm different, then there's something wrong. And so now there is an empowerment, and there is a sense in our inner selves of understanding this pain and understanding this hurt. And I really want to see here, please define the Tower for Aries. Please define the Tower for Aries, May 16th to 31st, 2021. And it's the Magician. Yeah, that's where the magic lies. The magic comes not because of things being easy. Enlightenment didn't come because everything was easy. Enlightenment came because everything was super hard. And now we're standing before the altar of our existence, taking our gifts, taking our bounty, taking our pleasure within life, and redefining who we are. Being that person that says, as above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. As I see it, so it is. And that starts to be really, and I'm putting it back into the deck, just for those who aren't watching, to be able to use these to define the other cards. So that starts to to play things differently. Actually, I'm going to put this down right here, and I want to see, what magic comes forward for Aries within their inner selves. May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries, what magic comes forward for Aries? What power comes forward for Aries in their inner self? May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. It's the Ten of Wands. It's putting down the burdens. It's putting down the burdens that have held us back for too long, that has kept us silent. It's like the old script is burning. The old way, the old regime, the old understanding within ourselves, the old way we used to rule ourselves is burning away. And now we're starting to see ourselves brightening. We're starting to see ourselves being emboldened. We're starting to see ourselves coming out of the darkness and into the light. That's really beautiful. And it moves us to our emotional selves, seeing things differently. And we have to learn to celebrate that, because we're going to think it's wrong. We're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm seeing everything differently. Everybody sees it this way. I'm looking at it this way. I'm just being a fool. What the heck is wrong with me? Oh my goodness. And that's going to be the energy that we bring forward. But what we should be doing is I see things differently. I'm celebrating who I am. I'm celebrating the unique set of gifts I bring to the table here, the unique set of wonder and understanding and passion and power that I am utilizing in order to change things passionately, career-wise, creatively for myself and for those around me. I'm also starting to be the person that sees value and worth within themselves, not always apologizing, not always doubting, not always fearing, not always being overwhelmed. And so there's real power here. There's a real sense of purpose and of drive and of greater insight and a greater push forward. And it leads us then to being able to have more confidence within ourselves. Now, the Hangman, especially in certain situations, we're going to see things differently and think, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. Because everybody's looking at it one certain way. And Spirit is saying to really highlight this and say, there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with having a different set of views, with looking at things and saying, no, it's not going to be like this. And no, I am moving forward like this. And so there's an empowerment here. But there's also the sense during this time, Aries, of gathering up information, gathering up knowledge and tools and insights and ideas, and really starting to be able, as this is gathered, to move forward in a celebration of self, because there's greater wisdom, there's greater depth. So let's see here. Please show me more deeply the change of perspective that Aries has. Okay. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is entering into a new cycle. This is also, and I love this depiction because it's the angels detangling, undoing our mess. When you use a loom, it can get kind of carried away with itself. It can just start to have a mind of its own. And all of a sudden, things get super tangled. So here, it's divine guidance, untangling what has gotten out of hand. So what we're starting to see is that divine guidance coming in, and it's untangling what needs to be, well, quite frankly, untangled. And it's starting to open up a new season, a new idea, a new purpose, a new way forward. And it brings us to this sense of, what is the new path? What is the new season that Aries is walking into emotionally? What is the new season that Aries is walking into emotionally? May 16th to the 31st, 2021, Aries. What is the new season that Aries is walking into emotionally? It's the Eight of Air. It's a season of doubt. Now, that doesn't sound like it would be something to really celebrate, but it is going to be a celebration of seeing the cage that we are setting ourselves in emotionally, saying, I have to be just like this. I can't move. I can't stray out of. If we let ourselves embrace seeing things differently, if we detangle, we uncage ourselves and we start moving forward. And we start either being able to name the cage, being able to name what fears us, what we are afraid of, what holds us back, what is, too much for us, what is overwhelming. And so we can be able to detangle that within our lives. And that's actually what I'm seeing here, is the sense of, and I really thought Spirit would say, there's this new season, like this new season of prosperity and bounty. It's like, no, it's this new season of having the gumption to call myself out. It's this new season of not, staying in the background anymore. It's coming forward in what I desire and what I need and what I want and who I am. And then it moves us to the world opening in quite a spectacular manner. The world opens, and in the in the public arena, it opens and we start to see things differently. It opens and we start to call upon our power, our desire. There is a sense of celebration. There is a sense of beauty and majesty coming forward. There's also a sense of freedom. It's like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can move forward this way. Oh, this gets to be the guidance forward. This gets to be what I desire because I'm fighting for what I love. Now, when we fight for what we love, the knights can be very impetuous. Now, the Knight of Cups is the least impetuous because he moves, well, not the least, the second least impetuous, because he moves the second slowest. So he takes his time, he looks at things, he gains an understanding. And there's going to be a real sense here of like, okay, I can see this, I can understand it, I can feel it. And during this time, we need to feel it. In the public arena, it's like if it goes against our gut, we're going to want to step back. We're going to want to step back, we're going to want to rethink things, we're going to want to look at things in a different way. And we're going to see that if we move with our gut, if we move with our emotions, if we let our emotions also then have a logical kind of balance to them. It's like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Puts it down on the table, like, lays it open to ourselves. And then says, why? Is there jealousy coming through here? Is there a sense of, of envy coming through? Because those things we have to realize within ourselves. Because that won't lead us to victory. It can lead us to upping our game, but it can also lead us to thinking, I try and I try and I try, and I'm not getting anywhere. Why does it even matter? And it definitely matters. There's definitely beauty here. So when we're moving forward, we need to move forward in honor of our hearts, but also in awareness of our hearts, of our emotions, and not just pushing things down and saying, well, that's not right. I can't think that way. I can't do that. And so then things start to change because we're being open with ourselves. We're not saying, oh, I have to be perfect, because perfect, if there's one thing that we want to fail at all the time, it's perfection, because somebody somewhere will always look at us and see us wanting. So let's look at what does Aries have to defend with the Knight of Cups. What does Aries have to defend with the Knight of Cups? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Yeah, it's the presence of prosperity. It's the Page of Pentacles. It's this wealth. It's this greater understanding. It's this learning, and it's going to be kind of a diversifying of funds or doors opening that lead to a money making way forward that we hadn't thought of before. And this could be wealth, and this could be something we value as much as money. This can also be child energy. Okay, so earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, there we go. And this is what we can be defending during this time, that sense of giving this person the most prosperous future possible. Okay, for some of us, that is going to be the case. For others of us, there can be defending this childish need. And yes, Spirit is saying childish here. A childish need to accumulate more. It's like to push the boundaries. But it's not necessarily going to be childish if it winds up working out really well for us. So we're going to be seeing ourselves pushing the boundaries, pushing the barriers, looking at things more openly, looking at things more honestly, and defending what we need to discover, and also getting really annoyed at people who are going to be foolish about things. Childish, childish in the sense of being too, like throwing a hissy fit or not being invested enough. We have this childlike, that's a better word for it. We have this childlike energy around us that's going to be, well, why not? Why not push the boundaries? Why not, open our eyes? Why not, let this way guide me forward? Why not? And that's going to be something very, very powerful for us. And let me see here. Please show me more deeply what Aries is being a student of in the public arena. Please show me more deeply what Aries is being a student of in the public arena. May 16th to 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the Seven of Swords. It's the sneakiness. It's the gathering things together. It's insight and ideas coming from different places and in different ways than we had expected. And that's what we're being a student of here, because we're going to think, oh, I'm doing this wrong, or, oh, I'm not being as open as I should be. And Spirit's like, no, 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 no. You are being as open as you should be. But there's a lot that you need to hold close to your hand. Like, you need to hold close to your chest. You need to guard your hand and understand that there is more to this than what we can see right now. And it leads us to our spirit animal message. Aries, May 16th to 31st, 2021, Aries, May 16th to 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the fox spirit. Think on your feet. This is a time where things come at us, and they come at us fast. We're looking at things in a very different way. We're having to maneuver and traverse terrain that we don't want to. We're like, no, I didn't sign up for this. But it's going to be where the best lessons come from. The ones that stick with us forever. The ones that were hard won, hard to understand, hard to swallow, but also immense in what they brought forward to us and what they brought to the table. This leads us to our subconscious spirit animal message, which is the armadillo spirit. Set healthy boundaries, but also see healthy boundaries. See where people let things kind of like bleed forward, and where people say, no, this is work, this is home, this is our relationship, and everything doesn't get to bleed into it. So setting healthy boundaries during this time is going to be something very hard for us to do, because we're going to want to take on everything. We're going to want to move forward as a defender of the heart for everyone that we love, for everyone that needs us. We're going to want to be right there. But setting those healthy boundaries and remembering that we can't carry everything, that we shouldn't be like Atlas with the whole world upon our shoulders, so that we only look at the ground, we only look at our feet, we don't see the beauty that is before us, we don't look at the glorious expanse of the sky. That's what we have to be really cognizant of during this time, to be able to embrace this deeper knowledge, this deeper truth, this power that comes from having healthy boundaries and really enforcing those. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, which is angels and masters. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above the crown. Angels and spirit guides and divinity are coming forward here. They're protecting us. They're guiding us. They're having us look at things way differently than we have before. And we're also going to know subconsciously, I'm protected. Now, that doesn't mean to do something silly, to do something foolish. What it does mean is that there's a grace over us during this time. And it would be foolhardy not to embrace that grace, not for doing careless things, but for doing mindful things, for celebrating the heart and pushing us forward through love, through celebration in the public arena, in our public world, but also within our emotional self and within our inner self. It moves us then to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, which is the Hierophant. The energy to be mindful of during this time is rules and regulations. It's being boxed in. It's somebody who says, well, it has to be just like this. And this is something during this time where, yes, we want guidelines, but we don't want the creative process to be stopped. And we're going to find that subconsciously, we rebel against these people, even if we're not really aware of it, even if we think, okay, they have valid points. We're going to be pushing the envelope just a bit, because our hearts don't see things the same way everybody else does. So we're not going to want, especially during this time, to be put in the box. But because we are represented by the god of war, we do know the importance of, following orders and doing what we're supposed to do. So it can be a bit of a battle within us to say, no, I'm pushing forward, and to also want to embrace the tried and true way of doing things. So just to be mindful of that where it can get a little tricky at times. Now the subconscious energy, as we went deeper and as we had things clarified, is first of all ourselves. We come through as the king of fire, And this is us in the minor arcana. We're represented by the wands in the minor arcana. We're represented by the emperor in the major arcana. So here we have ourselves coming through. And again, we have the fire over the heart. This is our passion. This is our desire. This is our focus. This is our need. This is our sense of this is who I am and this is what I want. There's a real sense of determination, of insight. There's also a sense of old soulness around us. Now, a past life part of us can be coming up. It can be that we're really looking into and being guided by ancient wisdom, and we're going to start to see things very differently than we had seen things before. And we're going to start being inspired in a way that sets us apart. We're also subconsciously going to be seen more than we think we want to be. So there can be a part of us during this time that says, "Oh no, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be dragged in the middle of this, or to be taken note of." But there is going to be a part of us that is very pleased that our work is being noticed, that we are being noticed, and also it's just going to be a natural thing. It's just going to be a natural way that we're being pulled forward. It moves us then to the magician coming out again. Subconsciously, we're standing before the altar of our existence, knowing that the power of our mind matters, and looking at the tools that we have, the way that we're learning, the way that we're learning how to handle our gifts and our desires and what we want to open up the door. And this is a time where as above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. If we believe that we can't have anything, it will be denied to us. If we believe that we can move forward. Now, it may not happen exactly the way that we had envisioned it, but if we can believe that we can move forward, if we can believe that we can, push the boundaries, that's exactly what we will do. And that's exactly what we can do. It moves us then to our subconscious message for this whole entire time, which is the Five of Wands. Be very mindful for arguments for the sake of arguments. Things that start off as little tiny disagreements and blow up into bigger fights. It can be that, you get a phone call that somebody's coming over and it just puts everybody on edge. Or, you get this phone call and all of a sudden there's just a sense of like, oh my gosh, no. It's like, okay, dates have been pushed up to things, something has happened, and there's going to be this sense of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it's going to make everybody really, really sharp. So just be, not in a good way, like sharp on it, it's going to make them sharp-tongued. So just be very mindful of this. And it can just be that somebody's in a really bad mood, and they're just kind of itching for a fight. Don't get involved. Don't get involved in the office politics. Don't get involved in the gossip mill. Don't, because it's just going to lead to arguments that get put on your plate in a time where you just really don't need it. You really, really don't, Aries. Okay. All right, Aries. I hope that reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we change the game and as we move forward, embracing a celebration and embracing a bounty within us that has been lost for too long. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.